Hi guys, my name is Jackie Camalingo and I just signed on 5 weeks ago as an Usborne Books and More consultant. I have experienced some pretty decent success in my first month. I received my full refund and success kit number 2 is on its way. I wanted to go ahead and share with you some of the things that I think have contributed to my success in the first month in hopes that it'll help some of you. The first thing was I went through the training and I just followed the training. I trusted it for what it was, and I've basically done everything the training has told me to do. The biggest takeaway was a mindset change. I went from viewing myself as a salesperson to viewing myself as an advocate for these groups. For these books, and started reaching out to people in meaningful ways in presenting them with this amazing opportunity we have in the first 12 weeks of this program. So it would look something like, hey, listen, I just signed on selling Usborne books. I've got this great opportunity in my first 3 months. I've got limited dates, but I'm able to offer you double rewards. I thought of you when I heard about it. Is this something that you'd like to do? It's super easy. And I had some pretty good return on that. Those were for my quick people that I am used to talking to in everyday weekly life. But then for those people that I haven't talked to in a decade, I looked at it as more of a long-term investment instead of a short-term. So I was like, maybe I'm not going to be able to get them to book a party or buy books right now, but in the long run, that's what I want. So I'm going to reach out and I'm going to ask them, how has life been? What are you up to? Where are you located these days? I can't believe your kids have gotten so big. And I'll tell you what, that first week when I started reaching out to people, conversations just evolved. Some people I was able to bring the Usborne thing into that day and be like, hey, listen, so you mentioned you have your children, they're interested in this. I just started selling these books. I think it would be a great opportunity for you to get in on these double rewards. What do you think? Do something like that. And then there were people that I didn't even bring it up to for a week after talking to them. I would carry on these conversations and we would genuinely become interested in each other's lives. And then I would be like, hey, listen, I don't know if you saw or not, but I signed on as an Usborne Books consultant. Have you heard of the books? I'd love to extend this opportunity to you since you've got your kids. I think it would be awesome, and I can only do it for the first 12 weeks. Do you want to get in on it? And I had some really good reception from that. So I think my big takeaway from that portion with messaging people was maybe go for depth and not breadth. Plant some of those long-term seeds because you're going to need them even after the 12 weeks. Then when it came to actually having hostesses for parties, a big concern has been the time commitment for my hostesses. So I set that out right at the beginning. I front load it and I tell them, hey, listen, it's going to take you some time to message these people if you want to get a lot of these books, if you want to make this worth it. You're going to be messaging about 100 people. Is that something you can do within the next week, 2 or 3? And I let them choose how far out they want to book their party within the 12 weeks, given that they're going to have to do some of this work messaging people. So I don't have them book their date before knowing that time commitment. I have them know the time commitment and then book the date. And then I think that sets an expectation that I am respectful of their time and I want them to get the most out of the party. The last thing I would say is with my hostesses, I like to give them choices too. So I give them the pros and cons of working a Facebook event versus a group, and I let them choose that. I let them choose the welcome game that we play. I send them a couple of graphics and say, hey, what would you want? And I think that builds a lot more commitment and loyalty within their own party, and they're more bought into the whole process. The biggest concern I hear from hostesses is, I don't know if I'm going to get somebody to book a party within my party. So I say, well, do you know anybody who's in love with books? They like reading to their kids. Reach out to them even before the party and say, oh my gosh, I can't believe how easy this has been. I think you should really book a party because I think I'm going to get a lot of rewards. I think you will too. Because they'll trust you more than me, naturally. And hostesses have been, most parties I've done now, the hostesses have booked another hostess for me prior to the beginning, maybe sometimes 2 or 3 hostesses. It's been really, really helpful that way because it's just a natural concern. Am I going to get somebody to book a party within my party so I can get my rewards? The last thing I would say is read your customers. If someone seems standoffish about it, that's fine. Don't take it personally. It might just not be the time. It's all about planting that seed to be able to come back to it later on, and you never know. Maybe they'll approach you about it later on. We just don't want to come across, as those annoying salespeople. And I think that's where the training really helped me think of myself as more of an advocate for these books and providing people with this awesome opportunity. If you have any questions about any of this, I can go more in depth in a personal message. I can send you some voice messages, give you some more tips that way. Feel free to reach out. I would love to hear from you guys. And I wish you nothing but the success in this awesome company. Bye.